Good evening, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. Thank you very much. As you can see, the title of this show, why didn't it update? I think it updated on YouTube. I think I'm looking at it at just StreamYard, but we updated the title and the thumbnail because Chris had something come up last minute. So him and I will push back our show to sometime later in the week. Please take a moment, read this disclaimer, do your own due diligence. Don't take anything that I say too seriously. I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. I just do a bunch of research and never buy anything just because somebody else did, especially somebody on the internet that has no idea what they're talking about. So please pause, read the disclaimer. Thank you very much. Michelle, thank you for being here. Charles, Ray, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. So, QXO, big day today. For those of you that did not see the news, QXO was up 18% or so today. Some pretty big news, I thought. Apollo Global Management and other investors are investing $1.2 billion in QXO through a series of new convertible, perpetual, preferred stocks. And I think that the investment just strengthens QXO's financial flexibility. It shows that there's a lot of faith in what Brad Jacobs is doing. It sets them up for acquisitions. I don't think that this would have happened unless there was something big in the pipeline coming. And the way that this looks is the group of investors have committed to purchasing the new convertible preferred stock to fund one or more qualifying acquisitions through July 15th. And the commitment will be extended up to 12 months additionally if a definitive acquisition agreement is executed before the initial commitment period expires. And the new convertible preferred stock, it's perpetual. It will pay a preferred dividend at a rate of 4.75%, and it can be converted into shares of the company's common stock at an initial conversion price of $23.25, which kind of backstops it in a way. I think that we are in an interesting area with QXO because we have a new Fed chair coming in at some point in the first half of 2026. If Powell resigns, who knows? Maybe he sticks it out. New Fed chair comes in May. Most likely, new Fed chair is going to be dovish. I think we see 3 rate cuts in the back half of this year. I don't think that we're really going to get a rate cut in the next couple of months. But if we do start getting a lot of cuts in the back half and we get some more next year, I do think rates could get down to 2.5% or so. I do think the 10-year can drop significantly below 4%, which could cause mortgages on the 30 to be maybe as low as 4.8, probably settle out somewhere around 5.2, 5.3. The hell just happened? It said my mic was unplugged. Can everybody hear me? Somebody just say yes if you can hear me, because for some reason StreamYard said that it was unplugged. Okay, so I think rates can get down to 4.8 to 5.2% sometime in 2027. And if they do, we should see a tremendous amount of construction projects, which lines so well for QXO. Very interesting that this happened today. Really signifies that Brad Jacobs is pulling a model from XPO Logistics, United Waste, and United Rentals, where he builds a company through acquisitions and creates tremendous shareholder value for investors. I'm very excited about this, and we'll see what happens. But it looks like they are targeting several acquisitions, which is very bullish for the long-term thesis of QXO. Trying to catch up to all the comments here. So yeah, QXO, big day today. I don't know how much it's going to move in the next week or two. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, but things are looking pretty good for QXO. So a lot of stuff happened today. Market was absolutely on fire. I'm excited. Software got a bump, but one of the big things, obviously, Venezuela happened over the weekend. I'm not going to get political or really talk into it, but sent energy and defense stocks significantly higher. We saw what happened with Chevron today. Palantir went up 3.5%. Very interesting what's going on. This is going to create a potential path for reopening Venezuelan oil investments, and the geopolitical backdrop for this should benefit energy supply chain and defense. Schlumberger, Halliburton quite a bit today. Schlumberger was up almost 9% today. That's something that I felt has been undervalued for quite some time. We'll see what happens. Chevron caught a bid today. They have a huge footprint in that area. So I do believe energy will be a theme. And I said energy will be a theme that drives the market this year. I do think from super majors to the oil field service companies, we're going to see a lot of value created out of it. So we'll see. Very interesting. Oh, look at this, people. I didn't even see what VG did. Did VG do anything today? VG down today. So that's not something I had on the list. Let's see. SoFi, big bump today. No news on SoFi, but I think that this is going to be really interesting heading into Q4 earnings to see where the annualized numbers come in at. Big thing today was Nvidia. And I'm not sure how many people heard the press conference today with Jensen, but it got me super bullish. There's so much in there to unpack, and I do not want to really get into the nuances of all the different data points because I am not a engineer working on the components for this, but they unveiled a lot of stuff, especially the new rack that has 2 miles of copper running through it. I think that the Rubin-based products are going to be so strong in the second half of 2026 that every one of the hyperscalers is going to have to upgrade to them. And their roadmap is so interesting right now. This could expand the CapEx build out. And this could be a story that continues to happen. I don't know where it ends, but the amount of compute that NVIDIA is able to get out of their next generation products is astonishing. So in an age of robotics, in an age of full self-driving, and data center demand from the RPO of all the other hyperscalers, I think that we're really in for a lot of good things. I want to listen. I have not heard any of this stuff. So there's 2 things I wanted to listen to with everybody and discuss it. One sec, let me bring this one up.
The S&P, as we look at the market sort of as a whole, we finished the year kind of a whimper, right? Despite, some of the thoughts that you're going to have a nice run into year end, you're going to have the Santa Claus rally, et cetera. All that being said, we're what 85 points from S&P 7,000. So as we watch that, Jonathan Krinsky today with an interesting note says the S&P needs to close today above 69.09, spot 79, to avoid a negative Santa Claus rally. The last 2 years were also negative, he points out. There has never been 3 straight negative Santa Claus rally periods. What do you make of that?
I wonder if you apply that to the S&P equal weight if you would have the same scenario, and I suspect you would not. I think what Jimmy pointed out earlier, where there is a little bit of a pivot in the direction of the S&P equal weight, and obviously I'm speaking from the perspective of my own book because it benefits Joe T being an equally weighted ETF, but I think that's what's happening. I think we're seeing this pivot to the broadening out narrative benefit the equal weight. I don't think that's at the detriment of your Nvidia or your Amazon or some of the Mag 7. I just think that the market's going to find other opportunities elsewhere. And it looks as though the turn of the calendar is being greeted with capital coming into the market that maybe was sitting out a little bit of the last half of Q4.
Well, I mean, the Nasdaq's still up 200 points today, which is
and
just shy
again,
of,
that is largely attributable to what we're seeing in the semis, and we'll talk about the dramatic divergence in performance between semis and software.
Yeah.
And I anticipated something completely different. I was wrong in that regard. I thought you'd get mean reversion, but it's the semis that's really powering the Nasdaq higher. And one other point on that, on Friday, if you think about
we are up in the futures. I'm looking at it right now. S&P up 10 on the futures, Nasdaq up 33, and the Dow is up 82.5. We may get to 7,000. It may just be after my timeline.
About the performance of semis, it was actually remarkable to see that the Nasdaq was actually able to not be down even further than it was on that dramatic reversal that we saw. Semis have been the story in technology.
There's a heavy narrative weighing on software.
Yeah.
Jim said it this morning. Kramer did. Software stocks just don't stop going down. RBC with a note today that AI is the death of software. That narrative still remains. Yes, they have favorite ideas, which are owned by some on the desk and some wherever you're watching, whether it's Microsoft or Okta or ServiceNow. The fact of the matter is, if you look at the performance of the IGV versus the SMH in 2025, it is a beatdown, okay? It's like the Jaguars versus the Raiders, okay? IGV up 5.5% for 2025. The SMH is up 49%. Yeah. Does that mean revert in 2026, or do we still have a overhang of the narrative that we just said, that software, AI is killing software, and stocks like Salesforce, ServiceNow, and some of these other names just can't get out of their own way? Adobe, for example, and others.
Yeah, I think Adobe was downgraded today by...
It was downgraded today to hold from buy at Jefferies. Target to 400 from 500 on lack of catalysts, right? What's the catalyst to bring this group
and that's back? The point, and that's the way to look at it. So will the overhang persist? So overhangs dissipate for two reasons. Even the valuations become so cheap, you really don't care about the overhang, or you have finality to the argument one way or the other. And I don't see that we have finality to AI displacing software narrative anytime soon. And I think about Microsoft a lot. It's not one of my largest positions, but it's still significant because I just don't have that many positions. And it's been dead.
Maddie, what did I lie to you about? This guy says he always says I lie to him. I don't know what the hell he thinks I'm lying to him about. Maybe he would like to come on and enlighten everybody what he has been lied to about. I'm going to stop sharing this. This is not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. I have a question for everybody. I'm going to go to the channel and put up a poll. While I'm putting up the poll, we're going to give Matty the stage. What did I lie to you about, Matt?
Oh, crap. I just realized there's a delay. How bad is this delay, Steve? Hold on. If I put my voice, you probably can't hear me, can you?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Is
what
it
I lied to you
about? The S&P going to 7,000, Steve, in 2025. No?
Matt, I made an entire apology video about this.
I want to know.
An entire video.
I was waiting for the whole time I was watching that video, Steve. I was like, he's going to say my name. He's going to say my name. Never said it once.
You know, Matt, let me ask you this.
I'm just
Is
giving you shit, by the way.
Tesla's FSD going to be impacted by Nvidia / Mercedes?
Yeah, I talked about that a good bit. Not a good bit, but I talked about it on my stream. I think it was beautiful. I think and I am an Nvidia shareholder now with all $10 worth.
I know, with big step, I bullied Matt into purchasing $10 worth of Nvidia.
Steve. It
$10.
wasn't even real dollars. It was all hairs. But no, it was $10. So, but I think it's beautiful what they're doing. They're basically creating LLMs that people can then use for inferencing, for simulation, for whatever they need to be able to then utilize. Sorry, let me turn my camera this way. Does that work better? To promote people being able to then utilize their GPUs. I think it's genius. I think it's absolutely genius.
Did you see the video on CNBC?
No.
I did not see it either. I want to watch. I stopped the other one because it wasn't interesting. We have a 50-50 poll right now. So I asked in the chat, is Tesla impacted by Nvidia / Mercedes? I'm not going to weigh in with my thoughts yet. It is deadlocked 50-50 with 142 votes. And I'm very interested. Just please vote because this is so interesting to me. The whole Tesla situation. Let's play the video and then I'll close the poll out after the video and I'm going to give my thoughts on this. So, Matt, are you ready?
Respectfully, it's a bad angle. Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Shares of Nvidia down just a fraction of a percent after hours as CEO Jensen Huang delivers his keynote address at CES. CNBC's John Ford has the highlights from Las Vegas. Hey, John.
Hey, Melissa. Well, the bad news is Jensen just got off the stage literally 90 seconds ago, so he's not going to make it up here a couple floors from the stage in time for Fast Money, but I will be taping with him. We'll have that on CNBC tomorrow. The big news out of his talk, I believe, is Vera Rubin. Now, we had been expecting this next generation of NVIDIA technology. They had talked about it a bit, but there's some major updates here, including that all 6 chips that are a piece of this are now in full production. They're giving some benchmark stacks on how they're running, and the partner systems are arriving in the second half of this year. And a little bit of that detail that they're saying 10 times lower inference token cost versus Blackwell. It's a fancy way of saying the price performance is a whole lot better than the current generation. And the argument is, yeah, this might be expensive, but it's premium, and the bang that you get for the buck is going to be that much better than the existing systems. Talked to Jensen before about how they've made these systems kind of backward compatible, so it's relatively easy to swap in the latest generation for the old one. As a matter of fact, I was talking with one of NVIDIA's partners earlier today, the CEO of Runway, which does high-end AI video. He was saying they were able to swap from the previous generation of NVIDIA into their test with Vera Rubin in a day and get that price performance benefit. He was singing its praises. They're in partnership with NVIDIA. But this is NVIDIA's push and attempt to tell the ecosystem we're still innovating, we're staying ahead of competitors, not just on performance, but they will argue on efficiency as well, Melissa. And you'll hear a lot more from Jensen, the conversation that we're going to have tomorrow morning on Squawk Box.
John, they also announced a move into autonomous driving software. Can you sort of elaborate on that and whether or not that was already sort of expected in the works, in the plan here, or is this a brand new endeavor?
Well, NVIDIA's got a long legacy with autonomous driving and with next generation cars. So this is building on that, where they've got new reasoning capabilities inside of the system that they're delivering for that. Now, when I was talking to the NVIDIA folks about this, the example I gave was, like when we had that blackout, that outage in San Francisco, the Waymo cars had some trouble knowing what to do when there's no traffic lights. This is the car that's equipped with this technology will have the ability to make some decisions, not just follow traffic light based rules that it's been given, And that is the idea, but they were kind of like, hey, you said that, we didn't say it, we're not comparing it to Waymo. But that's why potentially you want your car to be able to reason if there's a situation that's not in the manual that you need to navigate through.
I'm just curious also, John, because after the keynote, Jensen took some questions. What was the tone of the questions? I'm wondering what the audience was. What was sort of revealed in the thinking of the audience?
Well, as you mentioned it, so the keynote just ended. He's coming up here, and right over here, about 50 feet to my right, he's going to meet with some analysts. That's where we expect more of those in-depth questions, and then I'm talking to him after that. So I have the benefit of hearing some of those questions, and of course,
What is that, Python jacket? You're muted, Matt.
He was looking fresh today. You didn't see?
No, I was at work. What is this, Python or alligator skin jacket?
Dude, you got to ask questions. You can't afford it, Steve. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what that pattern is.
I don't know, but I was like, he upped his he hit the 5 trillion mark and he updated the jacket.
Yup, the game. Look at that. Probably Gator, huh? Interesting.
It's coming for you, Steve.
Do you think he'll unveil the price of the new chip versus the price of the old?
I didn't hear the price, but I'm not sure I can count that high either.
All right. So here's where I'm at. This is very interesting. Let's close the poll. Deadlocked. Oh, as I hit end, it's still deadlocked. 327 votes, 50-50. Okay.
Well, I was going to say, I'm disappointed because you got 800 people in here.
It's all right. This is one of the closest polls we've ever ran. I think we've only had deadlock once or twice before. And what I see from the press conference is that they introduced Alpamayo, probably pronounced it wrong, the world's first thinking model for autonomous driving, where your car will drive as you would expect it to drive as it reasons out any situation it would come upon, which is interesting. So it looks like the CLA model from Mercedes is the first vehicle with the MB.OS platform, which includes NVIDIA's full stack drive AV software, AI infrastructure, and accelerated compute. They've been working on this for several years. And it looks like Jensen said, this is the first large-scale physical AI market. We can all agree it is fully here. In the next 10 years, I'm fairly certain a large percentage of the world's cars will be autonomous. If this becomes the platform, I may not be bullish enough on NVIDIA. And I will tell you something. This would make me change my stance on buying a Tesla in the future.
Oh. Why is that?
I'm just going to say it. I would trust Mercedes over Tesla on this.
Oh.
Just saying.
Steven.
Shots fired. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that this is good for Tesla at all.
I mean, there's still the robotics piece, right? But I'm 100% with you. I mean, there's been so many people in the narrative about it's not about the cars anymore. It's about the FSD, and so I think it removes a big chunk of what I think people thought was the moat of how potential. I mean, you're still gonna have the people that are like, you still always have the people that are like, Waymo sucks. Everything else sucks. No matter what everybody else does, sucks. My sister bought a new leasing a new GM Terrain. She said Super Cruise is absolutely phenomenal. She barely had to touch it at all. The only thing she had to touch was when she was switching lanes. So, I mean, I think the mode is disappearing for Tesla. Their window to go fully autonomous and beat everybody is slowly coming to an end because I feel like they've ended up taking so long.
I want to cut you off for 1 sec. I apologize, Matt.
No, you're good. I'm pretty much done on that.
The reason why I'm saying that I think this is bad for Tesla is because of brand recognition, okay? Mercedes is a bigger company than Tesla. Mercedes does not have energy. They don't have any of those other things. Mercedes total revenue is $160 billion a year. It is simply a bigger company than Tesla. They sell more cars than Tesla, I believe. I would have to actually look at the stats, but I will tell you, I see way more Mercedes on the road than Teslas. And it's more about whether the average person can afford a Mercedes or not. It's when full self-driving is here, are Mercedes owners dumping a Mercedes and going to Tesla? If Mercedes and Nvidia come out with this stack, they're just going to get a new lease on a Mercedes or buy a new Mercedes most likely and not go to Tesla. That's why this is bad for Tesla. It's not about who can afford it and who can't, because I'll argue that Tesla's cars are expensive. Mercedes has an entry level model that is roughly the same price as a Tesla. So I think that this is bad for Tesla.
You heard it here first, Steve. But no, I think the gentleman on CNBC, I think he did a good job, and I agree with how he presented it. I think he hit all the nails on the head. I'm with you. I think this is going to be tough for Tesla. I mean, I don't think it's going to zero or anything like that, but I definitely think this is a big impact. And people that have been so bullish, I'm very curious to see how quickly the CLA is able to make headway. And not only that, but like if they're able to just give it to the CLA, think about the entry cost of a CLA versus some of these Tesla models.
I'm gonna bring all this up, okay? Because here's the one thing that I hate. Like I actually can't stand it. It's all the Tesla fanboys that will not accept that there could be a better car out there. That's the one thing that I cannot stand about the cult of Tesla. And I think Tesla is a phenomenal company, but the reality is maybe they're not the best car out there. That's the reality.
Got a point, Steve.
So here's the site that I was looking for. Give me one sec. Can I? Let's see. All right. Here we go. All right. Sharing the screen now, everyone. Maddie, where'd you go?
I'm here. I was just tired of holding my phone up.
So Mercedes in Q3 2020. What the fuck is this? Q3 2025 did 82,915 cars. I have no idea how many. All right, so Tesla that quarter destroyed them. Mercedes does more revenue. They certainly do not sell nearly as many. That's still a lot of cars. If this system works, that does not convert to Teslas. I wonder when the numbers for full year 25 are coming out.
Should be soon.
It's got to be soon, right? And then if Mercedes technology is better and it gets leased out to Toyota, Ford, and Honda over Teslas, I think that that's where the real money is. But yeah, let's look at Tesla. How much is an entry Tesla?
I don't know.
What's the entry one? Is it a Model 3?
Yeah, the 3, and then everyone was talking about how they might make the Model 2 in like the Mexico City plant, and they haven't yet.
So 37,000 for standard, lowest entry model. 37,000. Absolute lowest entry. On a lease, $450 a month. Okay, let's see Mercedes. What's the entry on a Mercedes? The A? Why did I hit learn more? I don't fucking want to do that. So I guess I thought there was an A. Wasn't there an A model, Matt?
CLA.
No. Is it a CLA? I thought there was an A series. They got rid of it.
I think they got rid of it.
Oh, these are EV. That's an EV. This isn't. All right. So a Mercedes C-Class starts at 49,000, and the CLA 47,000. So 10 grand more for the starting one. 42. All right. So the CLA coupe is 42.7. That's not that much more expensive than the Tesla. I don't think that that's that much more expensive. Now, the question is, what version of the Tesla? Let's go back to that Model 3. Is it not updating on my damn screen? Jesus Christ.
Amateur hour over here, Steve.
Unfreaking believable. Hold on. So buying it, the premium version of the Model 3 is same price as the CLA for Mercedes. So this standard version is a little bit cheaper. It's about 5 grand cheaper than the entry level Mercedes. Tesla is not that much cheaper than Mercedes, especially with the EV credit eradicated. So I don't know. We'll see.
You buying, Steve?
Buying what?
Tesla?
No. No, I think that I've never been big on the full self-driving. And I think that at this point, the Mercedes and Nvidia stack, if that think about this. What if it's proven? What if it's actually proven that it is better than Tesla's software? I don't know if it's going to be, but if it is, what happens to Tesla's multiple and Tesla's share price?
I think you'll see a lot of, there's potential there that if Nvidia, who is not a software company, well, they do some software, so I can't say that they're not a software company, but they're mostly focused on hardware and being able to, get a lot of that out the door. I don't know. I think that you're right. I mean, that multiple, not because the company's going to zero or anything like that, but because I think that people put a lot of emphasis on Tesla's, at the edge, and they're doing things that are ahead of everybody else. Well, it's like, well, if somebody truthfully catches up and is able to put it in a everyday man's car, right? The big problem that everyone says with Waymo is it's $150,000 Jaguar, and why would anybody buy that? And so it's like, well, here you are now potentially putting it in a CLA. If that CLA is able to do pretty much everything that you're able to do, boom, Tesla's, and everybody's argument about Tesla still being way ahead of everybody obviously gets eliminated.
I'm sorry, the CLA is such a better looking car than the Tesla.
It's a sexy car.
I mean, it is so much better looking. I'm sorry.
I remember when the CLA first came out. This is no shit. When the CLA first came out, I was like, oh shit. Like, what is this? Is this the new, because the CLS is like the premier of the whatchamacallits, right? And I was like, what the hell is this CLS? I was like, maybe I should buy one. And then I realized it was like the cheaper version. But I was like, it doesn't negate the fact that it's not a sexy vehicle. So
Yeah,
when
and
it
look,
came out, it looked like it was $1 million,
guys, I'm not a car guy. Okay. I could honestly care less. I'm not a car guy, but if both, so the premium model of this in all-wheel or rear wheel is roughly same price as the Mercedes. I would probably get a Mercedes over a Tesla if they both have full self-driving. And I'm sure there's a lot of people like that too. All I'm saying is that Matt, especially myself, and I think especially Matt also, are not saying Tesla's a bad company by any means. But
I
at
don't know,
some point,
Steve. If you say nowadays on X that you don't think a company will outpace the S&P 500, and there's uncertainty there, people might come after you.
that's fine. I just think that this has the potential to be very bad for Tesla because a lot of the bull cases around FSD, and if this ends up becoming a good full self-driving car with the Nvidia stack, that could disrupt the whole case for Tesla. Like Tesla bulls have to at least acknowledge that, regardless if they agree with it or not. And it will certainly reduce the chances of people getting rid of their Mercedes and going to Tesla. I mean, Matt, several years
Getting
ago,
rid of their Tesla and going to Mercedes.
getting rid of their Mercedes and going to Tesla. Because how many times did we hear in the past that everybody's going to drive a Tesla? Why would you buy a different car than a Tesla? I'm personally never owning an EV, especially if full self-driving is on a combustible engine. I'll be buying that instead of an EV.
I like it.
Same here.
Anyway, I didn't mean to hijack, but I just wanted to clarify, like, there's nothing new that you need to apologize to me about. Waiting for SPY to hit 7,000, you lied to me. And,
Listen, Matt. Let's not get crazy now. S&P
you're
will be at
you're a
7,000.
phenomenal analyst. I'm excited that you got 800 people listening, and I hope you have a good reason. Did Mr. Patel? He took the day off or what?
He is working on something and could not get away.
Okay, no worries. But yeah, hope you have a good rest of the stream. I'm gonna grab something to eat, and
You do that.
I gotta do some work before I head to bed as well. So
You do that. I will see you later.
you're the man. Thank you. Bye bye.
Later. So, yeah, I guess I will stream the AMD, I guess. So I'll stay on and stream it. But I see a lot. I can't believe how contested this is in the chat about this. So, look, Tesla is a great company. I've always said the future of Tesla is Optimus, not FSD. And I do believe that Optimus has the ability to be the largest product we've ever seen. Tesla has never been an FSD play. I think the Cybercab is ridiculous. And I've always said that. I'm not shying away from it. This is heavily publicized about my feelings about the whole Cybercab thing. If you're going to go buy a car for 40 grand or 50 grand or lease a car, why are you putting it in a freaking Cybercab thing? I don't want anybody in my vehicle other than me. That's it. So I think there's flaws in that. And I do think that the brand behind Mercedes, and now with these highlights from Nvidia, I think that that could throw some stones at Tesla's FSD. We'll see. Oh, trust me, I'm not worried about the Tesla kids. They're not going to bully me. So, fair value on Tesla. You guys don't want to see what the fair value on Tesla is. Trust me, you don't want to see that. It will make you cry. It will make you cry. Have I ever been in a Tesla? Yes. Do I know people that own Teslas? Yes. They all love them. I fully accept that. I fully accept that everybody I know that owns a Tesla loves it. I get that. I'm just saying that if this is real, and Mercedes comes out with real FSD in this stack, it could be a headwind for Tesla. And if the Tesla bulls are unwilling to accept that, I think that they're not being truthful to their investment thesis. You have to acknowledge for every, and this is the problem with the Tesla community that I can't stand, for every tailwind and every point on a bull case that you have in your investment thesis, you at least have to game out how it can go wrong. And this is, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if this is going to come true or not. Tesla's FSD may shatter what Mercedes and Nvidia just put out. But at some point, you have to say, maybe there's a chance that it's better. And the Tesla bulls are never willing to accept that. And it is freaking crazy that they're never willing to accept that. And it annoys the shit out of me. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I went so hard against all the bulls until I actually became bullish. I was bullish. I became a shareholder. I'm no longer a shareholder because I think Optimus is going to stall out for a while. I still think Tesla has the ability to become the most valuable company in the market. I still think Tesla over the next 10 years has the ability to become the largest company in the market, but there's a lot of unknowns. And if people are unwilling to accept that, I don't know. I don't know what to say. But let's do Tesla's valuation together. We're going to throw it against two companies, okay? We're going to throw it against two companies. So give me one sec. And I'm specifically putting it against Meta for a reason. We're going to do Meta and Nvidia because I do think that Nvidia is just one of the best companies I've seen ever. But the Meta value, going against Meta is very interesting because the market caps are so similar. And in this column here, we're just going to go do the difference of Meta, what Meta does and what Tesla does, okay? So Tesla's market cap, or let's do it this way. Meta's market cap is 245 billion. Larger than Tesla's, okay? Let me get all Tesla's numbers, and you'll see it all in the margins. Meta does double the revenue pretty much. And this is where I get so fucking annoyed. And I'm going to start cursing. FYI. Earmuffs if you can't handle a New Yorker cursing. Earmuffs. It's about to get real. Tesla bulls just pissed me off. Again, what else is new, right? Steve gets pissed off at the Tesla valuation because it doesn't make any freaking sense. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, guys. Come on. Actually, I didn't need to do that. I only need to do these. But I mean, in all seriousness, I want to see where the comments are. But I mean, look at this. Tesla's operating margin is 5%. Their EBITDA margin is 11.25. Cash from operations is 16.5. You have a free cash flow margin of 7 and a net income margin of 5.5%. It's trading at 131 times EBITDA when Meta is trading at 17 times EBITDA. Like, come on. There is no reason for Tesla to be trading here. I'm sorry. Like, come on. What? In all seriousness, like I'm reading the chat right now, at what in these numbers makes anybody think that Tesla is good value here other than the potential for Optimus or FSD if you still believe in that. Like, put potential aside. On today's numbers, what here makes you think that Tesla trades at a logical value? I mean, it's certainly not the price to operating income. It's certainly not any of the metrics. When you look at buying Meta at 1.66 billion or Tesla 1.4 billion, a trillion, I'm sorry. I mean, come on. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And if we look at the forward, I got you. Okay. Trust me, I got you. We can look at the forward because I know that's the big thing with Tesla, right? I have it somewhere. The big thing with Tesla is you can't find it in a spreadsheet. Okay, cool. We'll blow this up down here. Yeah, we can't find Tesla in a spreadsheet, right? So you're paying 142 times forward earnings for getting $3 of EPS in 2027 versus Meta is still growing by 28% and they're expected to do $33 of EPS in 2027. So much growth post 2027 is pulled forward on Tesla. I don't know. When I start hearing Tesla's going to 1,000, all these things, I'm like, how? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Because what's going to happen after 2027 with Tesla? Now, keep in mind, and I get it that Tesla trades at a super high valuation because of the potential of Optimus, and Optimus could change the world, and Optimus could justify this. And I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just saying that a lot of things have to go right for that to happen. And Tesla's trading at such a crazy valuation compared to other companies now that it just doesn't make sense. And you have to at least accept that if the Mercedes FSD is real and ends up being better than Tesla's, that's going to be a big problem. It's going to be a big, big problem. What type of numbers do you want me to run again? I just ran them. So where are the videos on? I've never looked at the videos on YouTube, and I would love to see if you can link, Eric, send me on X the videos of FSD working in New York City during rush hour. You're right. I don't believe FSD is anywhere near being able to drive in rush hour in New York City. And Lena, you're correct. I mean, I think Palantir's valuation is crazy, and I think their comps in 2026 are going to be very difficult. Model out the Optimus numbers, no problem. I've actually already done it, and it's super compelling. That's not what I'm saying. I have fully admitted Optimus was the only thing that got me interested in the company. And I'm going to show you exactly where I am putting Optimus at. So give me a sec. All right, so this is my latest article on Seeking Alpha on Tesla. And this is my scenario for them. Let me try and make this a little bigger. All right. So at 20, and I went on a low price point. So let's say they do 20,000 in revenue. Okay, I gave everybody 4 scenarios at a 20,000 price point, and this is truly what I do believe with Optimus and why made me so compelled to buy the stock is because I think that there'll be a monthly fee with Optimus, that you'll have all the Optimus bots in a learning platform that's a monthly fee where each bot learns from each other and they infinitely get better. If they can do 10 million a year, that's 200 billion in revenue. If they have a 10% operating margin, that's $20 billion in revenue. And if they do a $40 a month learning fee on 10 million Optimus bots, that's 400 million in reoccurring monthly revenue, which becomes 4.8 billion in annualized revenue. Like that is super amazing. Like I really do think that Optimus is the future of Tesla, not the car business. I've documented it so much. So before all the Tesla bulls go full hate cycle on me, I'm on your side with Optimus. I am not on your side with FSD. I think Optimus is so much more important than FSD. And if you get robots building robots and building more factories, and somehow they can get to 100 million, even if it's 100 million, just forget the annualized stuff, okay? Let's say Optimus can do 100 million robots in a decade. That's 2 trillion of revenue. At a 10% margin is 200 billion of operating profit. And if they do a $40 a month learning plan on 100 million bots, that would have been an additional $48 billion in revenue. I mean, that is simply amazing. So I'm with the Tesla community on Optimus, and I hope Elon puts so much emphasis and allocates the resources to bring Optimus mainstream immediately, if not sooner, because I think there is such a huge population that will benefit from it. I will buy one. I mean, I will buy one. Okay, cool. As Elon would say, he has more kids than Mercedes has in EV sales. Nobody gives a shit about EV sales. Most of the country could care less about EVs. I got news for everybody. It is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know anybody that cares about driving an EV. I really don't. They drive a Tesla because they like the Tesla. But, I mean, like my buddy who I was with over the weekend, he has a Tesla. He also bought a Corvette. That's one of the furthest things from an EV. So, just saying. These numbers, though, are super compelling for Tesla. And I do think that everybody needs to take a step back and, at the very least, understand that maybe, just maybe, there are going to be other competitors in the FSD space. So I know everybody wants to talk about AMD, so we can get down to it. I have a love-hate relationship with this company, as everybody knows. I'm going to try to find Lisa Su's keynote. Let's give me a sec. All right, hold on. I'm not sure where I can stream this from, though. That's the only problem. I guess I'm going to stream it from CNET. All right, it has not started yet. It's saying it's going to start soon. So, yeah, no, I know, but yeah, the whole, it's more copyright, nothing else. So, I have it up. Once it goes live, I will bring it on. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it. I mean, we'll see what they have to say. Yep, June, I got it. It's on CNET. It's on Associated Press. I found it. It'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what she says. I mean, look, I think the reality is that the timeline of chips may have just got expanded even further, which is super interesting to me. What are we doing a poll? I don't know what we're doing a poll on. What do you guys want a poll on? Oh, watch it or not? I want to watch the AMD, at least some of it. You know, the reality is it is important for us to at least look at what Lisa Su is saying from an aspect of supply chain for chips in the semiconductor industry. And it's just more validation for the investment thesis on Nvidia. That's the reality of that. I'm with you. I think I may get more Nvidia. I mean, I don't need more Nvidia, but I want more Nvidia. All right. I am going to do a poll on Zeta. I can't, I swear to God, Lena, you're like the 20th person that has asked me about this damn company. Do you like Zeta here? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't understand the company. Zeta. They popped a little bit today. Oh, look at that. Zeta Global partners with OpenAI to boost answer-driven marketing. Shares up 8%. Interesting. Jason from Paper Gains told us to tell you to ask him to come on to the Milk Gang show. Hold on. What's his handle on X? Is it Paper Gains? Hold on. All right, I just messaged him. So I sent him the link if he wants to come on. I sent him the link on X so you guys can let him know that. He likes building supplies. Oh boy. That could get crazy. That could get a little crazy. Can somebody explain this whole Steve thing, please? All right, we're ending the poll. Interesting, 60-40. I will look at it again. I looked at it originally and I wasn't interested in it. Maybe there's something I'm missing in it. I don't know. This is a casino, not stock exchange. Okay. Have I tried the cold showers yet? I am fine taking cold showers, just not in the winter time. There's something about cold showers in the spring and summer. Winter, they suck. So, no, I am off cold showers for now. So, QXO, for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, is a company that Brad Jacobs put together, and I started discussing it. I can tell you exactly when, because I'm probably the last person that wrote about it on Seeking Alpha. No, wow, two other people wrote about it. Look at that. I wrote about it on October 28th. I'll post the article here. So I'm a big Brad Jacobs fan. He is one of the best operators, in my opinion. He built XPO Logistics from scratch. He built United Rentals, United Waste. He's done more than 500 M&A deals in his career. He's got several decades of experience, and he is building out and redefining the building distribution sector, and he is bringing it into the next technical revolution. So he bought Beacon Roofing Supply. I think they're an $11 billion company. And his goal is to continue acquiring people, overhaul their logistical network. And he has a ton of experience in that through XPO. And I believe they're using Palantir software. And the idea is that he's going to continue to acquire companies, increase revenue, improve margins, increase EBITDA, and then get a multiple on it and generate a lot of value for shareholders. I think it's entirely possible. The guy has a very long track record of doing this. So Jason is not coming on. He is, yeah, he's not coming on. So I don't know. Maybe you guys want me to message somebody else. I have no idea. Lisa Sue's not on yet, everyone. Oh, wait, it's coming. Hold on. Here we go.
Creating new possibilities. Here, AI isn't an idea. It's intelligence in motion. The innovators, the storytellers, and the game changers come together to redefine the landscape of content, creativity, and culture. Pioneers will push healthcare beyond what we ever thought possible. From connected roads to autonomous flight, from next-gen marine tech to innovations that feed the planet, this is what drives us forward. In the halls of CES, technology doesn't just compute, it collaborates. Quantum thinkers, cybersecurity leaders, fintech visionaries, and robotics engineers are rewriting the rules of enterprise itself. Because when the world's most determined minds come together, we don't just predict the future, we...
Association, Gary Shapiro.
Decade, but it's actually the people behind those breakthroughs, the leaders this stage. One of the most remarkable transformations in modern technology. Under her leadership, AMD reinvented itself through relentless innovation in high performance and AI computing, delivering products that now power AI training and inference, scientific research, enterprise workloads, cloud infrastructure, and the devices and experiences which millions of people rely on every single day. Today, AMD is a central force in the global AI transformation. Its CPUs, GPUs, and adaptive computing solutions help unlock new capabilities across cloud, enterprise, edge, and PC. And while the industry has spent years discussing what AI could become, Lisa has been focused on building the computing foundation that makes AI real and accessible at scale. But what truly distinguishes Lisa is her leadership. She's analytical and deeply technical, yet always grounded in purpose. She brings a rare combination of scientific brilliance, strategic clarity, and human-centered thinking. She believes in partnering deeply to engineer solutions that matter, solutions that advance society, strengthen industries, and expand opportunity. That's the kind of leadership CES is designed to elevate. And that's the kind of leadership we all need as we navigate a world of accelerated innovation. Tonight, Lisa will share AMD's vision for how high-performance computing and advanced AI architectures will transform every part of our digital and physical world, from research, healthcare, and space exploration to education and productivity. She'll speak to the extraordinary pace of AI, the breakthroughs happening now, including the opportunities and responsibilities that come with building the future.
Hello, and welcome to this unique moment in human history. A moment where what's possible makes me forget what's impossible. Where any game you play now has the power to play by your rules. Where AI not only helps model the possibilities of what a city can be, but make sure our kids never forget what our cities used to be. A moment where no hope meets the treatment plans of AI mapped genomes. Where no driver officially has better reflexes than any driver who's ever lived. And where no signal can no longer stop you from sharing. Show me, show me, show me. This. A moment where AI is helping design a renewable energy source as powerful as the sun itself, and helping make travel time across the Atlantic just another puddle jumper. But as fast as everything's changing, there's one thing that won't. We're working tirelessly to create a world where the most advanced AI capabilities end up in the right hands. Yours.
So just keep walking even though. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to welcome to the stage a globally respected technologist, an industry-defining CEO, and a leader whose work continues to shape the very trajectory of modern computing. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Chair and CEO of AMD, Dr. Lisa Su.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you. All right. right, what an audience. How are you guys doing tonight? That sounds wonderful. First of all, thank you, Gary, and welcome to everyone here in Las Vegas and joining us online. It's great to be here with all of you to kick off CES 2026. And I have to say, every year, I love coming to CES to see all the latest and greatest tech and catch up with so many friends and partners. But this year, I'm especially honored to be here with all of you to open CES. Now, we have a completely packed show for you tonight, and it will come as no surprise that tonight is all about AI. Although the rate and pace of AI innovation has been incredible over the last few years, my theme for tonight is you ain't seen nothing yet. We are just starting to realize the power of AI. And tonight, I'm going to show you a number of examples of where we're headed. And I'll be joined by some of the leading experts in the world, from industry giants to breakthrough startups. And together, we are working to bring AI everywhere and for everyone. So let's get started. At AMD, our mission is to push the boundaries of high performance and AI computing to help solve the world's most important challenges. Today, I'm incredibly proud to say that AMD technology touches the lives of billions of people every day. From the largest cloud data centers to the world's fastest supercomputers to 5G networks, transportation, and gaming, every one of these areas is being transformed by AI. AI is the most important technology of the last 50 years, and I can say it's absolutely our #1 priority at AMD. It's already touching every major industry, whether you're going to talk about healthcare or science or manufacturing or commerce. And we're just scratching the surface. AI is going to be everywhere over the next few years. And most importantly, AI is for everyone. It makes us smarter. It makes us more capable. It enables each one of us to be a more productive version of ourselves. And at AMD, we're building the compute foundation to make that future real for every company and for every person. Now, since the launch of ChatGPT a few years ago, I'm sure we all remember the first time we tried it. We've gone from 1 million people using AI to now more than 1 billion active users. This is just an incredible ramp. It took the internet decades to reach that same milestone. Now, what we are projecting is even more amazing. We see the adoption of AI growing to over 5 billion active users as AI truly becomes indispensable to every part of our lives, just like the cell phone and the internet of today. Now, the foundation of AI is compute. With all of that user growth, we have seen a huge surge in demand in the global compute infrastructure, growing from about 1 zettaflop in 2022 to more than 100 zettaflops in 2025. Now, that sounds big. That's actually 100 times in just a few years. But what you're going to hear tonight from everyone is we don't have nearly enough compute for everything that we can possibly do. We have incredible innovation happening. Models are becoming much more capable. They're thinking and reasoning. They're making better decisions. And that goes even further when we extend that to agents overall. So to enable AI everywhere, we need to increase the world's compute capacity another 100 times over the next few years.
Okay, I'm sorry. She just said they need to increase compute 100 times. 100 times. This is why, even though I'm not invested in AMD, I am interested in what she is saying, because it just gives me more validation in making investments where I'm making it. Very interested.
More than 10 yottaflops over the next 5 years. Now, let me take a survey. How many of you know what a yottaflop is? Raise your hand, please. A yottaflop is a 1 followed by 24 zeros. So 10 yottaflops is 10,000 times more compute than we had in 2022. There's just never, ever been anything like this in the history of computing. And that's really because there's never been a technology like AI. Now, to enable this, you need AI in every compute platform. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the whole gamut. We're going to talk about the cloud, where it runs continuously, delivering intelligence globally. We're going to talk about PCs, where it helps us work smarter and personalize every experience that we have. And we're going to talk about the edge, where it powers machines that can make real-time decisions in the real world. AMD is the only company that has the full range of compute engines to make this vision a reality. You really need to have the right compute for each workload. And that means GPUs, that means CPUs, that means NPUs, that means custom accelerators. We have them all. And each of them can be tuned for the application to give you the best performance as well as the most cost-effective solution. So tonight, we're going to go on a journey. So you're going to go with me through several chapters as we showcase the latest AI innovations across cloud, PCs, healthcare, and much more. So let's go ahead and start with the first chapter, which is the cloud. The cloud is really where the largest models are trained and where intelligence is delivered to billions of users in real time. For developers, the cloud gives them instant access to massive compute, the latest tools, and the ability to deploy and scale as use cases take off. The cloud is also where most of us experience AI today. So whether you're using ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok, or you're coding with copilots, all of these powerful models are running in the cloud. Now, today, AMD is powering AI at every level of the cloud. Every major cloud provider runs on AMD EPYC CPUs. And 8 of the top 10 AI companies use Instinct accelerators to power their most advanced models. And the demand for more compute is just continuing to go up. Let me just show you a few graphs. Over the past decade, the compute needed to train the leading AI models has increased more than 4 times every year. And that trend is just continuing. That's how we're getting today's models that are dramatically smarter and more useful. At the same time, as more people are using AI, we've seen an explosion over the last 2 years of inference, growing the number of tokens 100 times, really hitting an inflection point. You can just see how much that inference is really taking off. And to keep up with this compute demand, you really need the entire ecosystem to come together. So what we like to say is the real challenge is how do we put AI infrastructure at Yota scale? And that requires more than just raw performance. It starts with leadership compute, CPUs, GPUs, networking coming together. It takes an open modular rack design that can evolve over product generations. It requires high-speed networking to connect thousands of accelerators into a single unified system. And it has to be really easy to deploy. So we want full turnkey solutions. That's exactly why we built Helios, our next generation rack scale platform for the Yota scale AI era. Helios requires innovation at every single level: hardware, software, and systems. It starts with our engineering teams who designed our next generation Instinct MI455 accelerators to deliver the largest generational performance increase we've ever achieved. MI455 GPUs are built using leading edge 2 nanometer and 3 nanometer process technologies and advanced 3D chiplet packaging with ultra fast, high bandwidth HBM4 memory. This is integrated into a compute tray with our EPYC CPUs and Pensando networking chips to create a tightly integrated platform. Each tray is then connected with high-speed ultra accelerator link protocol tunneled over Ethernet, which enables the 72 GPUs in the rack to function as a single compute unit. And then from there, we connect thousands of Helios racks to build powerful AI clusters using industry-standard Ultra Ethernet NICs and Pensando programmable DPUs that can accelerate AI performance even more by offloading some of the tasks from the GPUs. Now, we are at CES. It is a little bit about show and tell, So I am proud to show you Helios right here in Vegas, the world's best AI rack.
Okay, she just said the world's best AI rack. Let's see what she says compared to what Jensen said a couple of hours ago.
Is that beautiful or what? Now, for those of you who have not seen a rack before, let me tell you, Helios is a monster of a rack. This is no regular rack, okay? This is a double wide design based on the OCP Open Rack Wide standard developed in collaboration with Meta, and it weighs nearly 7,000 pounds. So Gary, it took us a bit to get it up here, just so you know. But we wanted to show you what is really powering all of this AI. It is actually more than 2 compact cars. Now, the way we've designed Helios was really working closely with our lead customers, and we chose this design so that we could optimize serviceability, manufacturability, and reliability for next generation AI data centers. Now, let me show you a few other things. At the center of Helios is the compute tray. So let's take a closer look at what one of those trays look like. Now, I can tell you, I probably cannot lift this compute tray, so it had to come out. But let me just describe it a little bit. Each Helios compute tray includes 4 MI455 GPUs, and they're paired with the next-gen EPYC Venice CPU and Pensando networking chips. And all of this is liquid-cooled so that we can maximize performance. At the heart of Helios is our next-generation Instinct GPUs. And you guys have seen me hold up a lot of chips in my career. But today, I can tell you, I am genuinely excited to hold up this chip. So let me show you MI455X for the very first time. MI455 is the most advanced chip we've ever built. It's pretty darn big. It has 320 billion transistors, 70% more than MI355. It includes 12 2-nanometer and 3-nanometer compute and I/O chiplets, and 432 gigabytes of ultra-fast HBM4, all connected with our next-gen 3D chip stacking technology. So we put 4 of these into the compute trays up here. And then driving those GPUs is our next generation EPYC CPU, codenamed Venice. Venice extends our leadership across every dimension that matters in the data center. More performance, better efficiency, and lower total cost of ownership. Now, let me show you Venice for the first time. I have to say, this is another beautiful chip. I do love our chips, so I can say that for sure. Venice is built with 2-nanometer process technology and features up to 256 of our newest high-performance Zen 6 cores. And the key here is we actually designed Venice to be the best AI CPU. We doubled the memory and GPU bandwidth from our prior generation, so Venice can feed MI455 with data at full speed, even at rack scale. So this is really about co-engineering. And we tie it all together with our 800 gig Ethernet Pensando Vulcano and Selena networking chips, delivering ultra-high bandwidth as well as ultra-low latency, so tens of thousands of Helios racks can scale across the data center. Now, just to give you a little bit of the scale of what this means, that means that each Helios rack has more than 18,000 CDNA 5 GPU compute units, and more than 4,600 Zen 6 CPU cores, delivering up to 2.9 exaflops of performance. Each rack also includes 31 terabytes of HBM4 memory, an industry-leading 260 terabytes per second of scale-up bandwidth, and 43 terabytes per second of aggregate scale-out bandwidth to move data in and out incredibly fast. Suffice it to say, those numbers are big. When we launch Helios later this year, and I'm happy to say Helios is exactly on track to launch later this year, we expect it will set the new benchmark for AI performance. And to put this performance in context, just over 6 months ago, we launched MI355, and we delivered up to 3x more inference throughput versus the prior generation. And now with MI455, we're bending that curve further, delivering up to 10 times more performance across a wide range of models and workloads. That is game-changing. MI455 allows developers to build larger models, more capable agents, and more powerful applications. And no one is pushing faster and further in each one of these areas than OpenAI. To talk about where AI is headed and the work that we're doing together, I'm extremely happy to welcome the president and co-founder of OpenAI, Greg Brockman, to the stage. Greg, it is so great to have you here. Thank you for being here. OpenAI truly started all of this with the release of ChatGPT a few years ago, and the progress you've made is just incredible. We're absolutely thrilled about our deep partnership. Can you just give us a picture of where are things today? What are you seeing, and how are we working together?
Well, first of all, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. ChatGPT is very much the overnight success that was 7 years in the making, right? That we started OpenAI back in 2015 with a vision that deep learning could lead to artificial general intelligence, to very powerful systems that could benefit everyone. And we wanted to help to actually realize that technology and bring it to the world and democratize it. And we spent a long time just making progress, where year over year, the benchmarks would look better and better. But the first time we had something that was so useful that many people around the world wanted to use it was ChatGPT. And we were just blown away by the creativity and the ways in which people found how to really leverage the models we had produced in their daily lives. And so just out of curiosity, how many people in the room are ChatGPT users?
That's pretty much the whole room, Greg, I would just say.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. But very importantly, how many of you have had an experience that was very key to your life or the life of a loved one, whether it's in healthcare, in helping manage a newborn, in any other walk of your life? And to me, that's the metric that we want to optimize. And that seeing that number go up and to the right has been something that has been really different over 2025, right? That we really moved from being just a text box that you ask a question, you get an answer, something very simple contained, to people really using it for very personal, very important things in their lives. And it's not just in personal lives, for healthcare and aspects like that. It's also in the enterprise, right? And really starting to bring models like Codex to be able to transform software engineering. And I think that this year we're really going to see enterprise agents really take off. We're seeing scientific discovery start to be really accelerated, whether it's developing novel math proofs. The first time we saw that was just a couple months ago, and the progress is continuing. And it's really across every single endeavor of human knowledge work, where there's human intelligence that can be leveraged, right? That you can amplify it. We now have an assistant, right? We now have a tool, we have an advisor that is able to amplify what people want to do.
I completely agree with you, Greg. I think we have seen just an enormous acceleration of what we're using this tech for. Now, I would say, I think every single time I see you, you tell me you need more compute.
It's true. It's true.
It's almost like a broken record. Like you could just, just play the Greg wants more compute. Can you talk about just some of the things that you're seeing in the infrastructure, some of the bottlenecks, and where do you think we should be focusing as an industry?
Well, the why do we need more compute is the most important question, right? Which is really when the models are not that capable, right? And where we were in 2015, 2016, 2017, so forth, is that you basically just wanted to train a model and evaluate it, right? And maybe there'd be a very narrow task it'd be useful for. But as we've made this exponential progress on the models, then there's actually exponential utility to them. People want to bring it into their lives in a very scalable way. And I think that what we're seeing is as we move from you ask a question, you get an answer, to agentic workflows, where you ask the model to write some software for you, and it goes off for minutes or hours or soon even days. And you're not just operating one agent, you're operating a fleet of agents, right? You can have 10 different work streams all going at once on your behalf for a single developer, right? And that it should be the case that you wake up in the morning, and this is the kind of thing we are going to build, by the way. And ChatGPT has taken items off your to-do list at home and at work. And that all of that, that's going to require that, that big graph that you had of how much compute the world's going to need. That's going to require far more compute than we have right now. Like, I would love to have a GPU running in the background for every single person in the world, because I think it can deliver value for them. But that's billions of GPUs. No one has a plan to build that kind of scale. And so what we're really seeing is benefits in people's lives, right? We're seeing, for example, some of my favorite applications, and some of the ones I think are the most important, are in healthcare, right? That we actually see people's lives being saved through ChatGPT. Just over the holidays, one of my coworkers, that her husband had leg pain. They went to the hospital, they went to the ER, and they got it x-rayed, and the doctors are like, it's a pulled muscle, just wait it out, you'll be fine. They went home, it got a little bit worse, typed the symptoms into ChatGPT. ChatGPT said, go back to the ER, this could be a blood clot. And in fact, it was deep vein thrombosis in the leg, in addition to 2 blood clots on the lungs. And if they just waited it out, that would have been likely fatal. It's not a unique story. Fiji, our CEO of applications, who I work very closely with every day, ChatGPT literally saved her life too, right? She was in the hospital for a kidney stone and had an infection. They're about to inject a antibiotic. And she said, wait just a moment. She asked ChatGPT whether that one was safe for her. ChatGPT, which has all of her medical history, said, no, because you had this other infection 2 years ago, that could re-trigger it. And that could actually be life-threatening as well. And so she showed it to the doctor. The doctor's like, wait, what? You had this condition? I didn't know. I only had 5 minutes to review your medical history.
Yes. I completely agree, Greg. I mean, that's one of the things that we can always, all of us can use a helper.
Yes.
And that's really what we have here. Look, I mean, I think you've painted a vivid picture of why we need more compute, of what we can do with AI. I think we feel exactly the same way. Now, we've also done an incredible amount of work with your engineering teams. MI455 and Helios is actually, a lot of it is through some of the feedback from our engineering teams working closely together. Can you talk a little bit about that infrastructure and what are your customers wanting, and how are you going to use MI455?
Well, one of the key things with how AI is evolving is thinking about the balance of different resources on the GPU. And so we have a slide to show how we've seen the evolution of this, the balance of resources across different MI generations. So you see this slide that I very painstakingly put together. Actually, I did not painstakingly put it together. I asked ChatGPT to go create the slide. And so it literally did all the research, and you can see some sources at the bottom. And it actually went and read a bunch of different AMD materials, created these charts, put together the title, put together all these headers, and produced not just an answer for me to then go do a bunch of work. It produced an artifact that I can show. And this is just one simple example that you can do today with ChatGPT, right? That we are moving to a world where you are going to be able to have an agent that does all this work for you. And for that, we're going to need to have hardware that is really tuned to our applications. What we have in mind is that we're moving to a world where human attention, human intent becomes the most precious resource. And so that there should be very low latency interaction anytime a human's involved, but there should be an ocean of agentic compute that's constantly running, that's very high throughput. And these two different regimes of low latency and high throughput yield a bunch of different pressures on hardware manufacturers such as yourself. So it's a pleasure to be working together.
We like building GPUs for you. That works well. Look, lastly, Greg, let's talk a little bit about the future. Paint a picture. One of the things that we've talked about is there's some people out there who are wondering, is the demand really there? Can AI compute, do we really need all of this AI compute? And I know you and I have talked about it. I think people don't have a view of the future that you see. I mean, you have a special seat. So paint the world for what this looks like in a few years.
Well, looking backwards, we have been tripling our compute every single year for the past couple of years, and we've also tripled our revenue. And the thing that we find within OpenAI is every time we want to release a new feature, we want to produce a new model, we want to bring this technology to the world, we have a big fight internally over compute, because there are so many things we want to launch and produce for all of you that we simply cannot because we are compute constrained. And I think we're moving to a world where GDP growth will itself be driven by the amount of compute that is available in a particular country, in a particular region. And I think that we're starting to see the first inklings of this. And I think over the next couple of years, we'll see it start to hit in a real way. And I think that AI is something where I think data centers can actually be very beneficial to local communities. I think that's a really important thing for us to really prove to people. But also the AI technology you produce, that is also something where, in terms of scientific advances, you think about what has been the most fundamental driver of increase of quality of life, right? It really is about science. And every time we've gone into specific domains, you just see how much limitation there is from how things are done, because that's just, there's a particular discipline that's built with a bunch of expertise. There are a small number of experts, and that it's hard for them to propagate that to future generations. For example, in biology, we hooked up GPT-5 to a wet lab setup and had humans described what the wet lab looked like. The model said, here are a couple of ideas to try. The humans would go try it, and it actually produced a 79x, almost 100x fold improvement in the efficiency of a particular protocol. And that's just one particular reaction that people have spent some time actually optimizing, but not like a ton of time, because it's just, there's so much surface area available in biology that no human can possibly get to all of it. No human can be an expert across every single subfield. And I think what we're going to see is AIs that really bridge across disciplines that humanity has been unable to bridge, right? You see this within healthcare, where as humans learn more, we specialize more, but we're going to have AIs that are going to amplify. And so I think it'll be for hard problems that AI will be brought to bear. This will be true for enterprise. Every single application, I think, will have an agent that is accelerating what people want to do. And I think the hardest problem for humanity will be deciding, how do we use the limited resources we have to get the most benefit for everyone?
That is an incredible vision, Greg. We are so excited to be working with you. I think there's no question in the world that we have the power to really change people's lives. Thank you for the partnership, and really look forward to it.
Thank you.
So, as you heard from Greg, compute is key, and MI455 is a game changer. But with the MI400 series, we've designed a full portfolio of solutions for cloud, enterprise, supercomputing, and sovereign AI. At the top is Helios, that's built for the bleeding edge performance, hyperscale training, and distributed inference at rack scale. For enterprise AI deployments, we have Instinct MI440X GPUs that deliver leadership training and inference performance in a compact 8 GPU server designed for easy use in today's existing data center infrastructure. And for sovereign AI and supercomputing, where extreme accuracy matters the most, we have the MI430X platform that delivers leadership hybrid computing capabilities for both high precision scientific and AI data types. This is something unique that we at AMD do. Because of our chiplet technology, we can actually have the right compute for the right application. Now, hardware is only part of the story. We believe an open ecosystem is essential to the future of AI. Time and time again, we've seen that innovation actually gets faster when the industry comes together and aligns around an open infrastructure and shared technology standards. And AMD is the only company delivering openness across the full stack. That's hardware, software, and the broader solutions ecosystem. Our software strategy starts with ROCm. ROCm is the industry's highest performance open software stack for AI. We have day zero support for the most widely used frameworks, tools, and model hubs. And it's also natively supported by the top open source projects like PyTorch, VLLM, SGLang, Hugging Face, and others that are downloaded more than 100 million times a month and run out of the box on Instinct, making it easier than ever for developers to build, deploy, and scale on AMD. One of the exciting AI companies using AMD and ROCm to power their models is Luma AI. Please join me in welcoming the Luma AI CEO and co-founder Amit Jain to the stage.
Hey, Lisa.
Hello, Amit. How are you? It's great to have you here with us. You're doing some incredible work in video generation and multimodal models. Can you tell us a little bit about Luma and what you're doing?
Absolutely. Lisa, thank you so much for having me here.
Of course.
Luma's mission is to build multimodal and general intelligence, so AI can understand our world and help us simulate and improve it. Most AI video and image models today, they're in early stages, and they're used to generate pixels. They're used to produce, pretty pictures. What is needed in the world are more intelligent models that combine audio, video, language, image all together. So at Luma, we are training these systems that simulate physics, causality, are able to go out, do research, call tools, and then finally render out the results in audio, video, image, text, whatever is appropriate for the information that you're trying to work with. In short, we are modeling and generating worlds. So as an example, let me show you some results from our latest model, Ray 3. By the way, Ray 3 is the world's first reasoning video model. So what it means is it actually is able to think first in pixels and latents and decide whether what it's about to generate is good. And it's also the world's first model that can generate in 4K and HDR. So please take a look.
When you close your eyes, what do you see? When we talk about reality, how do you know what is real? Or what is simply your imagination? Now open your eyes.
I could say, Amit, that looked pretty incredible. So tell us, how are customers using Ray 3 today?
So we are working with very large enterprises as well as individual creators across the spectrum. And we work with them in advertising, media, entertainment, and industries where, you want to tell your story. 2025 was the year when they started to deploy our models and experiment with them. And towards the end of it, we are seeing large-scale deployments where people are using our models for as much as actually making a 90-minute feature-length movie. What customers are also asking us a lot for, as they're using it more and more, is control and precision. How can they get their particular vision out onto the screen? And what we have realized, and to our research, is that control comes from intelligence, not just better prompts. You can't keep typing in again and again and actually do those things. So we have built a whole new model on top of Ray 3 called Ray 3 Modify that allows you to edit the world. So let me show you actually what that looks like. This won't have audio, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you're seeing. So what's playing on the screen is a demo of Ray 3's world editing capabilities. It can take any real or AI footage, so footage from cameras or footage that you generated, and change it as little or as much as you want to realize the creative goals. It's a powerful system that we have developed for our most ambitious customers who are most demanding, and they spread the gamut across entertainment, advertising, and this has allowed us to enable a new era of hybrid human AI productions. The human becomes the prompt through motion, timing, and direction. You act it out, and then the model can produce it. What that means in practice is that filmmakers and creators can create entire cinematic universes now without elaborate sets, and then edit and modify anything to get to the result they want. This has never been possible before. But in 2026, we are focused on actually going much further. 2026 will be the year of agents, where AI will be able to help you to accomplish more of the task, or hopefully the full end-to-end of the task, rather than doing some patchwork. So our teams have been working diligently building the world's most powerful multimodal agent models. Using Luma will suddenly feel like you have a large team of capable creatives who are working with you in your creative pursuit. I want to show you a brief demo of what that would feel like. So what you're seeing here is a new multimodal agent that can take a whole script of ideas with characters and everything and start imagining that in front of you. Now, this is not script to movie. This is human AI interaction. And our next generation of models provide the ability to analyze multiple frames, long-form video, and make selection and maintaining the fidelity of the characters, scenes, and story, and only editing when it's needed. Here you're seeing human and AI collaborate in designing characters, environments, shots, and the whole world. And with our agents, we believe that creatives will be able to make entire stories, what used to take a large production before. Again, this has never been possible before, and we have been using it heavily internally, and we couldn't be more excited. Individual creatives or small teams will suddenly have the power of doing what entire Hollywood studios do.
That's pretty amazing. It's really nice to see how these Luma agents come together and make this happen. Now, I know you have a lot of choices in compute. And when we first started talking, actually, you called me and said you needed compute. And I said, I thought I could help. Can you tell us a bit about why you chose AMD and what has your experience been?
Yeah, we bet on AMD very early on. That call was in 2024, early 2024. And since then, our partnership has grown into a large-scale collaboration between our teams, so much so that today, 60% of Luma's rapidly growing inference workloads actually run on AMD cards. Today, we also, initially when we started out, we used to do a bunch of engineering. But today, we are at a point where most any operators, most any workloads that we can imagine run out of the box on AMD. And this is huge props to your software teams and the diligent work that is going into the ROCm ecosystem. We are building multimodal models, and actually these workloads are very complex compared to text models. One example of that is these consumes hundreds of times, thousands of times more tokens. A video that you saw, a 10-second video, is about 100,000 tokens easily. Compare that to a response from an LLM. It's about 200 to 300 tokens. So when we are working with this much information, TCO and inference economy is absolutely critical to our business. Otherwise, there's no way to serve all the demand that is coming our way. Through our collaboration with the AMD team, we have been able to achieve some of the best TCOs, total cost of ownership, that we have ever seen in our stack. And we believe as we build these more complex models that are able to do autoregressive diffusion and that are able to do text and image and audio and video all at the same time, this collaboration will allow us to significantly differentiate on cost and efficiency, which, as you know, in AI is a big deal. So through this collaboration, we have developed such degree of confidence that in 2026, we are expanding our partnership to a tune of about 10 times what we have done before. And these 455 cards, and I cannot be more excited for MI455X because this, the rack scale solution and the memory and the infrastructure that you're building is essential for us to be able to build these world simulation models.
Well, we love hearing that, Amit. And look, our goal is to deliver you more powerful hardware. Your goal is to make it do amazing things. So just give us a little brief view of what do you see customers doing over the next few years that just isn't even possible today?
Right. So as Greg was mentioning, early on in LLM land, right, in 2022, 2023, they were great for writing copies, small emails, things like that. We could have never imagined that we would actually put these models, into real-time systems, into healthcare and these kind of things. Through accuracy and architecture and scaling, LLMs have now gotten to that point. Video models are currently in that early stage. Today, they're great for generating video and pretty pictures. But soon, by scaling these models up, by improving the accuracy and data, we would end up at a place where these models will help us simulate real physical processes in the world. Like CAD, architecture, fluid flows help us design entire rocket engines, plan cities. And this is not outrageous. This is what we do today manually with big giant teams in simulation environments. These models will allow us to do that and automate that to a great degree. And as they become more and more accurate, multimodal models is what we need for the backbone of general purpose robotics. Your home robot, will run hundreds of simulations in its head, in image and video, and then try out, like, okay, how do I do this? How do I solve this? So that it's able to do a lot more than current generation of LLM and VLM robots are able to do. This is how the human brain works. Humans are natively multimodal. Our AI systems will be as well.
That sounds wonderful, Amit. Look, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for the partnership, and we really look forward to all that you're going to do next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you've heard from Greg and Amit. What they said is they need more compute to build and run their next-gen models. And it is the same across every single customer that we have, which is why the demand for compute is growing faster than ever. Now, meeting that demand means continuing to push the envelope on performance far beyond where we are today. MI400 series was a major inflection point in terms of delivering leadership training across all workloads, inference, scientific computing. But we are not stopping there. Development of our next-gen MI500 series is already well underway. With MI500, we take another major leap in performance. It's built on our next-gen CDNA 6 architecture, manufactured on 2-nanometer process technology, and uses higher-speed HBM4E memory. And with the launch of MI500 in 2027, we're on track to deliver 1,000x increase in AI performance over the last 4 years, making more powerful AI accessible to all. So with that, thank you. So with that, now let's shift from the cloud to the devices that make AI more personal, PCs. So for decades, the PC has been about a powerful device helping us be more productive, whether at work or at school. But with AI, the PC has become not just a tool, but it's a powerful, essential part of our lives as an active partner. It learns how you work, and it adapts to your habits, and it can help you do things faster than you've ever expected, even when you're offline. AI PCs are starting to deliver real value across a wide range of everyday tasks, from content creation and productivity to intelligent personal assistants. Let's just take a look at a few of the AI PC applications today. Starting with content creation. These videos were created from simple text prompts on a Ryzen AI Max PC, so not in the cloud, but in a local environment. Anyone can generate professional quality photos and videos in minutes with no design expertise. Microsoft has been a key enabler of AI PCs, helping bring next generation capabilities directly into our productivity tools. For example, managing your meetings, summarizing emails, quickly finding files that you need, using real-time translation on video conferences. And with Microsoft Copilot, advanced AI capabilities are being built directly into the Windows experience to complete tasks faster. You just describe what you need, and the PC takes it from there. Now, at AMD, we saw the AI PC wave early, and we invested. That's why we've led every inflection point. We were the first to integrate a dedicated on-chip AI engine in 2023, and the first to deliver Copilot Plus x86 PCs in 2024. And with Ryzen AI Max, we created the first single-chip x86 platform that could run a 200 billion parameter model locally. And now we're extending that leadership again with our next-gen Ryzen AI notebook and desktop processors. So today, I'm proud to announce the new Ryzen AI 400 series, the industry's broadest and most advanced family of AI PC processors. Ryzen AI 400 combines up to 12 high-performance Zen 5 CPU cores, 16 RDNA 5 RDNA 3.5 GPU cores, our latest XDNA 2 NPU delivering up to 60 TOPS of AI compute, and support for faster memory speeds. These flagship Ryzen AI mobile processors deliver significantly faster content creation and multitasking performance compared to the competition. Now, there's a lot of excitement for the Ryzen AI 400 series, and if you're walking around CES this week, you're going to see many notebooks launching this week. The first Ryzen AI 400 series PCs begin shipping later this month, with more than 120 ultra-thin gaming and commercial PCs launching throughout the year from every major OEM across every AI PC form factor. Now, powering the next generation of AI PC experiences takes more than just hardware. It takes smarter software with models that are lighter, faster, and can run directly on device. These are different than what you're seeing in the cloud. So to talk more about this next wave of model innovation, please welcome Ramin Hassani, co-founder and CEO of Liquid AI. Ramin, it's great to have you here. I'm very excited about the work that you guys are doing at Liquid. You were really taking a different approach to models. Can you talk a little bit to the audience about what Liquid is doing and why it's different from others?
Absolutely, Lisa. It is great to be here. We're a foundation model company spun out of MIT 2.5 years ago. We're building efficient generative AI models that can run fast on any processor inside and outside of data centers. We designed from scratch multimodal models with a hardware-in-the-loop approach that allows us to optimize neural architectures for a given hardware. We're not building transformer models. We're building liquid foundation models. Powerful, fast, and processor-optimized generative models. The goal is to substantially reduce the computational cost of intelligence from first principles without sacrificing quality. That means liquid models deliver frontier model quality right on a device. Device could be a phone, could be a laptop, could be a robot, could be a coffee machine, and could be an airplane. Basically, anywhere compute exists with 3 value propositions: privacy, speed, and continuity. It can work seamlessly across online and offline workloads.
Ramin, our teams have been working really closely on bringing more capable models to AI PCs. Can you share a bit about that work?
Absolutely. Today, I've got 2 new product announcements. 1, we are excited to announce Liquid Foundation Models 2.5, the most advanced tiny class of models on the market. At only 1.2 billion parameters, the model performs best on instruction following capabilities between its class and models that are larger in its class. LFM 2.5 instances are the building blocks of reliable AI agents on any device. To put this in perspective for you, this model delivers instruction following capabilities better than the DeepSeek models and Gemini Pro kind of models, Gemini 2.5 Pro, right on the device. We are releasing 5 model instances: a chat model, an instruct model, a Japanese enhanced language model, a vision language model, and a lightweight audio language model, basically. These are highly optimized for AMD Ryzen AI CPUs, GPUs, and NPUs. And today, they're available for download on Hugging Face and on our own platform, Leap. You can enjoy them.
That's pretty cool.
So we can stack these LFM 2.5 instances together to build agentic workflows. But then it would be really amazing if we can bring in all these modalities into one place. So that brings me to my second announcement, LFM 3. LFM 3, it is designed natively multimodal to process text, vision, and audio as input and deliver audio and text as an output in 10 different languages with sub-100 millisecond latency for audio-visual data. You will get LFM 3 later in the year.
All right, that's fantastic. So Now, Ramin, help our audience understand, like, why should they be so excited about LFM3? Like, what can we do with these models on an AI PC?
Absolutely. So most assistants, AI assistants, co-pilots today are reactive agents. You open an app, then you ask a question, it responds. But when the AI is running fast on the device and is always on, it can be working, on the tasks proactively for you. The task can be done in the background. So let me show you a quick demo, a reference design to inspire what is possible to build on PCs with LFM instances. Let's jump in. Imagine you're a sales leader working on your AMD Ryzen laptop with LFM3 backbone proactive agents activated. You're in full focus mode, working on a spreadsheet. Notifications start piling up. You get a calendar notification for a sales meeting, but want to continue your work in deep focus. A liquid proactive agent notices the meeting and offers to join on your behalf. You allow the agent to join, and while you focus on your data analysis task, in the background, the meeting is in progress with your agent representing you.
Are you sure we can trust this agent?
I think.
I'm a little worried there, Ramin.
This system can actually transcribe more than transcribing your systems, and really understanding what is going on. And the system can also be hooked up to your email platform. It can analyze your emails, like as your emails are actually coming out, it can perform a deep research functionality. So with the deep research functionality, you can analyze every email and draft a response for you. Again, everything under your own control. You're not going to go, this is not going to go rogue. Everything is offline locally on the device. So this system can deliver, a summary and can do the jobs better than what you have expected, what you have seen from reactive agents. I think this year is going to be the year of, proactive agents. And I'm very excited to announce that we're collaborating with Zoom to bring these features to the Zoom platform, actually.
That's fantastic. Ramin, we're really excited about what you're doing. I think you've just given people just a glimpse of what we can do when we bring, true AI capability to our PCs. So thank you. We're excited, and we look forward to all we're going to do together.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So now you've seen a little bit about what's possible with local AI, but the latest PCs aren't just running AI apps, they're actually building them. That's why we created Ryzen AI Max, the ultimate PC processor for creators, gamers, and AI developers. It's the most powerful AI PC platform in the world, with 16 high-performance Zen 5 CPU cores and 40 RDNA 3.5 GPU compute units, and an XDNA 2 NPU delivering up to 50 TOPS of AI performance, all connected by a unified memory architecture that supports up to 128 gigabytes of shared memory between the CPU and GPU. In premium laptops, Ryzen AI Max is significantly faster in both AI and content creation applications compared to the latest MacBook Pro. In small form factor workstations, Ryzen AI Max delivers comparable performance at much lower price than NVIDIA's DGX Spark, generating up to 1.7 times more tokens per second per dollar when running the latest GPT OSS models. And because Ryzen AI Max supports both Windows and Linux natively, developers maintain full access to their preferred software environment, tools, and workflows. Now, there are more than 30 Ryzen AI Max systems in market today, with new laptops, all-in-ones, and compact workstations launching at CES and rolling out throughout the year. But our mission is to advance AI everywhere for everyone. The truth is, there are AI developers, many of you in this room, who want access to platforms that enable you to develop on the fly. So we took this one step further. Today, I'm excited to announce the AMD Ryzen AI Halo, a new reference platform for local AI deployment. Now, I would say this is pretty beautiful. Do you guys agree? So let me tell you what it is. This is the smallest AI development system in the world. capable of running models with up to 200 billion parameters locally, not connected to anything. It's powered by our highest-end Ryzen AI Max processor with 128 gigabytes of high-speed unified memory that is shared by CPU, GPU, and NPU. This architecture accelerates system performance and makes it possible to efficiently run large AI models on a compact desktop PC that fits in your hand. Thank you. Halo supports multiple operating systems natively, ships with our latest ROCm software stack, comes preloaded with the leading open source developer tools, and runs hundreds of models out of the box. And this really gives developers everything you need to build, test, and deploy local agents and AI applications directly on the PC. Now, for all of you who are wondering, Halo is launching in the second quarter of this year, and we can't wait for folks to get their hands on them. So now let's turn to the world of gaming and content creation. A few gamers out there. I think there are a lot of gamers out there. Look, every day, gamers and creators rely on AMD across Ryzen and Radeon PCs, Threadripper workstations, and consoles from Sony and Microsoft to deliver tens of billions of frames. And while the visual quality of those frames has advanced dramatically over the years, the way we build those worlds really hasn't. It still takes teams months or even years to bring a 3D experience to life. Now, AI is really starting to change that. To show what's next in 3D world creation, I'm honored to introduce one of the most influential figures in AI. Known as the godmother of AI, her work has transformed how machines see and understand the world. Please welcome the co-founder and CEO of World Labs, Dr. Fei-Fei Li. Fei-Fei, we are so excited to have you here. You know, you've been one of the leaders shaping AI for decades. Can you just give us a little bit of your perspective? Where are we today, and why did you start World Labs?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Lisa, for inviting me to be here. Congratulations to all the announcements. I can't wait to use some of them. So it's true that there has truly been great breakthroughs in AI progress in the past few years. And as you said, I've been around the block for a while, for more than 2 decades. And I really cannot be more excited than now by where things are going. So in the past few years, language-based intelligence in AI technology really has taken the world by storm. We're seeing the proliferation of all kinds of capabilities and applications. But the truth is, there's a lot more than just language intelligence. Even for us humans, there's more than passively looking at life in the world. We are incredible spatial intelligent animals, and we have profound capabilities that use our own spatial intelligence that connects perception with action. Think about all of you being here, how you braved through airports this morning. I'm one of them, or woke up in your hotel room and get to the nice coffee shop, or find your way in this maze in Vegas to be here. All this requires spatial intelligence. So what excites me is that there's now a new wave of Gen AI technology for both embodied AI and generative AI that we can finally give machines something closer to the human level spatial intelligence. It's the ability to not only perceive, but create 3D or even 4D worlds, reason about objects and people, and imagine entirely new environments that still obey the laws of physics and dynamics in worlds, virtual or real. So that's why I started World Labs. I really want to bring spatial intelligence to life and deliver value to people.
I remember the first time I talked to you about your concept for World Labs and your passion about what this could bring. Tell us a little bit about what your models do so the audience gets a feel for what does this really mean?
Yeah, well, I heard that there are gamers out there, so this is very exciting. So traditionally, building 3D scenes requires laser scanners or calibrated cameras or hand-built models using pretty sophisticated and complicated software. But at World Labs, we're creating a new generation of models that can use the recent Gen AI technology to learn the structure, not only just flat pixel structure, I'm talking about 3D, 4D structure of the world directly from data, a lot of data. So give the model a few images and even one image, the model itself can fill in the missing details, predicts what's behind objects, and generate rich, consistent, permanent, navigable 3D worlds. So what you're seeing here on screen is a Hobbit world that's created by our World Labs model called Marble. We just give it a handful of images and it created these 3D scenes that are persistent and you can navigate. You can even see a top view. And our system transformed a few visual inputs into a fully navigable, expansive 3D world. And it shows how these models not just reconstruct the environment, they really imagine cohesive worlds, wondrous worlds. And once these worlds exist, they flow together and allowing effortless transition from one environment to the next and scaling into something much larger. And this is much closer to how humans piece together a place from a few glances.
Well, it looks pretty amazing that you can do that with such little input. Now, can you just show us a little bit about how the technology works?
Yes, definitely. Let's just ground it in real world a bit more from the Hobbit world. Let's do something that you're very familiar with. So over the break, our team went to AMD's Silicon Valley office. I hope they got your permission. And
they did not, but that's okay.
Okay, well, now here we are. We just use some regular phone cameras. There's no special equipment, just phones to capture a few images. And then we put them into World Labs' a 3D generative model called Marble. And then our model that can use AMD's MI325X chip and the ROCm software stack can create a 3D version of that environment, and including windows, doors, furniture, size, and sense of depth and scale. And keep in mind, you're not looking at photos, you're not looking at videos, you're looking at truly 3D consistent worlds. And then our team started to have a little more fun and decided to
you decided to remodel?
Exactly,
Yes, yeah.
for free for you. For different design styles, right? I don't know which one you guys like the most. I personally really like the Egyptian one, but maybe that's because I'm going there in a few months. And while this transformation is keeping the geometric consistency and the 3D inputs. So you can imagine this can be such powerful tools for many use cases, whether you're doing robotic simulation or game development or design. What would traditionally take months to do in a typical workload, we really could do it in minutes now. And we can even navigate into an entirely different world, like actually the Venetian Hotel. And we just did that yesterday by taking a picture and then put it in the model and then had a little fun. And then it turned this whole place into a 3D imaginative space. And now I'm sure you guys can take pictures and send it to Marble and experience this yourself. But what you don't see here behind the scene is how much computation is happening and why inference speed really matters. The faster we can run these models, the more responsive the world becomes. Instant camera moves, instant edits, and a scene that stays coherent as you actually navigate and explore. And that's what's really important.
You know, Feifei, I think you're going to have a few people going out to your website to try Marvel this
We'll
evening.
keep the server up.
But look, that looked really amazing. Can you just share a little bit about your experience working with AMD and our work on Instinct and ROCm?
Yeah, of course. And even though we are old friends, our partnership is relatively new. And I got to be honest, I'm very impressed by how quickly this came together. Part of our model is a real-time generative frame model. It was running on MI325X in under just a week. And then with AMD Instinct and ROCm, our teams were able to iterate really rapidly over a course of a few weeks to improve performance by more than 4-fold. And that was really impressive. That matters because spatial intelligence is fundamentally different from what came before. Teaching AI to understand and navigate 3D structure, have motion, understand physics requires enormous memory, massive parallelism, and very fast inference. And I was seeing your announcement. I can't wait to see platforms like MI450 continue to scale, and they will give us the ability to train larger world models, and just as importantly, to run them fast enough that these environments can feel alive, react instantly as the user or agents move, explore, interact, and create.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you for those comments. Your team has been fantastic working together.
Thank you.
So Feifei, with all the compute performance that we're going to give you and all of the innovation in your models, give the audience a view of what to expect over the next few years.
Yeah, I know. And as you know me, I don't like to hype. I think the world...
This is called underhype, Feifei. So...
No, I think we should just share what it is. It is going to be a changing world. A lot of workflows, a lot of things that were difficult to do will actually go through a revolution because of the incredible technology. So for example, creators can now experience and create real world scenes, scenes in real time, shaping what's in their mind's eye, experimenting with the space, the light, the movement, as if they are sketching inside a living world. And then intelligent agents, whether it's robots or vehicles or even tools, can learn inside very rich, physics-aware digital worlds before they even need to be deployed into the real one, making them much safer, make the development much faster, more capable, and more helpful to people. And designers, for example, or architects, can walk through ideas before anything is built, exploring form, flow, materials, and navigate spaces rather than just staring at static plans. So what excites me most is that this represents a shift in how AI shows up in our lives. We're moving from systems that understand words and images passively to systems that not only understand, but can help us to interact with the world. So Lisa, what we are sharing today, which is turning a handful of images or photos into coherent, explorable world in real time, is not a glimpse of the distant future anymore. It is really the beginning of the next chapter. So you and I talk about this even offline. We know as powerful as AI technology is, it's also our responsibility to deploy and develop it in ways that reflect true human values, that augment human creativity, productivity, and our care for each other, while keeping people firmly at the center of this story, however powerful technologies are. And I'm very excited to partner with AMD and with you on this journey.
Fei, I think I speak it for everyone. You are, really an inspiration to the AI world. Congratulations on all the great progress, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, next shift. Now let's turn to the world of healthcare.
Of all the ways AI is advancing the world, healthcare impacts us all. And AMD technology is enabling the incredible to become possible. Cancer detection is happening earlier, with supercomputers analyzing data at massive scale. Patients are receiving therapy sooner with compute modeling complex biological systems. Promising treatments are moving forward faster through molecular simulation. Medicine is becoming more personalized through genome research. And patient outcomes are improving through robot-assisted surgeries. Our partners are using AI to accelerate science and better human health. Advanced by AMD.
So look, as you saw in that video, AMD technology is already at work across healthcare. This is one of the most meaningful applications. You've already heard about some of the stories tonight of how high-performance computing and AI is one of the areas that I am most personally passionate about, is how you can bring healthcare there. There's nothing more important in our lives than our health and the health of our loved ones. And using technology to improve healthcare outcomes means we measure progress in terms of lives saved. I'm very happy to be joined tonight by 3 experts who are leading the way in applying AI to real-world healthcare challenges. Please join me in welcoming Sean McLean, CEO of Absci, Jacob Thaysen, CEO of Illumina, and Ulla Engquist, Head of Molecular AI at AstraZeneca. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. You can see there's a lot of excitement about healthcare. Thank you for the tremendous partnership. Sean, at Absci, you're using generative models and synthetic biology to design new drugs from scratch. Can you walk through a little bit of how that works?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here today. Biology is hard, it's complex, it's messy. Drug discovery and development is this archaic way of going about discovering drugs. Ultimately, it's this trial and error process where you ultimately are searching for a needle in the haystack. But with generative AI and what we're doing at Absci, you're actually able to start creating that needle and being able to actually engineer in the biology that you want, being able to go after the diseases that have large unmet medical need, and being able to have the manufacturability, the developability that you want in the drug. We're actually able to start having precision engineering now because of AI with biology. Just like Apple is engineering an iPhone, or you all are engineering the 455s, we're able to start engineering biology. And what is that actually doing? It's allowing us to start tackling some of the hardest, most challenging diseases that still exist, that have high unmet medical need, where standard of care is poor. And at Absci, this is exactly what we want to tackle. We want to tackle these hard, challenging diseases. 2 of them that we're focused on at Absci is androgenic alopecia, so think common baldness. We actually have the opportunity in the not too distant future to have AI cure baldness. Wouldn't that be incredible? And not only that, be able to focus in areas that have been neglected. Women's health. For far too long, women's health has been pushed aside. And we have a drug that we are developing for endometriosis that affects 1 in 10 women. with the opportunity to potentially deliver a disease-modifying therapy for these women. This is what AI in drug discovery is all about. And this wouldn't be possible without the compute partnership that we've had with AMD. Lisa, you and Mark Papermaster invested in Absci roughly a year ago. And within that year, we've been able to scale the inference and be able to, in a single day, screen over 1 million drugs in one single day. That's incredible. And additionally, we're getting onto the 355s. And the memory there is going to allow us to contextualize the biology in a way that we haven't been able to before, and ultimately create better models for drug discovery. The future is really bright in AI and drug discovery.
That's fantastic, Sean. Well, look, thank you for the partnership. We're really excited about all the work we're doing together. Now, Jacob, Illumina is really a leader in reading and understanding the human genome to improve health. How is AI helping in your work? And talk a little bit about what the impact is for the future of precision medicine.
Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. And I'm super excited to be here. And we definitely share a deep passion for impacting health. So looking forward to everything we can do with the two companies together, both what we have done and what we're going to do. And of course, Sean, I'm rooting for that drug against baldness, for sure. So let me talk a little bit about Illumina. We are the world leader in DNA sequencing. And DNA, as you know, is the blueprint of life, which makes all of us unique. And therefore, it's essential to be able to measure that to prevent, diagnose, and treat diseases. In a simplified way, you can think about the human genome as 3 billion letters. So that actually is like a book with 200,000 pages in. And that is in each of our cells. Now, if there's just one mistake, spelling mistake in that book, that can actually mean the difference between a long and healthy life and a short and terrible life. So accurate DNA sequencing is extremely important, but it's super data and compute intensive. In fact, we are generating in our sequences more data than is generated on YouTube every day. And therefore, the relationship with AMD is super important. We are using your FPGA and EPIC processes in our sequences every day, and that's the only way we can compute all that and translate that into insights. Over the past decade, our technology has already now been used, as we talked about, in drug discovery, but also impacting healthcare. Today, it's used for profiling terrible diseases like cancer and inherited diseases, and it's really very important to make sure, and we are impacting a lot of people's health out there and have saved a lot of millions of people's lives. But we're just getting started. But biology is super complex. So now, and our brain can't really comprehend all that. But the combination of using generative AI, genome, proteomics together is poised to completely change our understanding of biology over the next period of time. It will impact drug discovery, but it will also impact on how we prevent and treat early diseases. So really, it will change our way we think about longevity and healthier life. And we can only do that with the collaboration between us and all of us on the States and the whole ecosystem. So I'm really excited about that.
That's fantastic, Jacob. And Ola, at AstraZeneca, you're scaling AI across one of the largest drug discovery pipelines there is. Talk about how AI is changing the way you develop new medicines.
Okay, thanks, Lisa, and also thanks for the invitation. And so Zeta, at AstraZeneca, we really apply AI end-to-end, from early drug discovery to manufacturing to healthcare delivery. And for us, AI is not only about productivity, it's a lot about innovation. How can we work in a different way? How can we do new things with AI? And one area that I'm personally very passionate about is how can we deliver candidate drugs quicker with the help of generative AI. So how we're working there is that we train our generative AI model on all our experimental data that we have generated over several decades. And then we use those models to virtually assess in the computer which hypothesis, which ideas of candidate drugs might work or not. And then we can assess millions of different potential candidate drugs. And then we take the best, only the one that we think is really good, into the experimental lab and really validate the hypothesis there. So we use our generative AI model to generate candidate drugs, to modify them, to optimize, to really reduce the number of experiments we need to do in the laboratory. And we are applying a new way of working through the whole AstraZeneca small molecule pipeline. And we see that we can deliver candidate drugs 50% faster with the new way of working, and also improve clinical success later. And we can't do that alone. We need to do that in a collaboration. So we collaborate with academia, with AI startup, and with companies like AMD. And one very important area for us is hyperscaling, because we have a lot of great data, and we really want to create the most optimal, best models we can. And there we work in a collaboration with AMD to basically scale our drug discovery engine SemlaFlow, so it can handle these large new data sets. So basically we optimize the whole workflow with the help of AMD.
All right, I
That's
can't.
fantastic, Ola. Look, all of your stories.
I can't listen to this much longer. Do you guys care if I shut this off? All right. So this is where I'm at. I mean, if talking dirty is cursing, I'm happy to. I thought a lot of the AMD stuff was very interesting. I actually am thinking about building an AMD personal computer now, but I think this is all super bullish for tech. And right now, all roads, in my opinion, still lead back to Nvidia. Rubin will be out before AMD's big next thing. I forgot what the name of it is. And I'm really excited about 2026 and 2027. I think CapEx demand is going to expand, and we are going to see a lot of interest in this stuff. I mean, if she's correct, and we need that much more compute than what we currently have, this is going to be super bullish for all three. I did not post a video during it that I made, Carl. That I forgot to upload it the other day. I downloaded it and I put it up while that was on, because I forgot to do it yesterday. Yeah, Yoda Bites is the best thing that Yoda Flaps. It wasn't Yoda Bites, it was Yoda Flaps. I mean, shit, if anything's going to get me to be an AMD investor again, it's Yoda Flaps. But look, the reality is that both AMD and Nvidia will likely do well. I just think that Nvidia is more the road I want to go down. Probably should have never sold AMD, but back in 2016, none of this shit was a reality. So I can't be mad at that. Oh, let's look at the overnight markets before we call it a night. Where are we? You know what I'm interested in? Is Nvidia moving and is AMD moving after this? Let's see. Hold on. Where the hell is the? Hold on. I don't really know how to use freaking Webull. Somebody showed me before the. Where's nighttime? Does anybody know where the night stuff is on this? What the hell I have to hit? Yes, it's amateur hour. I don't use Webull. I only did the night thing once. It's not letting me go into extended for some reason. Bottom right corner, right? That's what I thought. Let's see. Everything's up after hours. I mean, it says Hood's up after hours, it says Nvidia's up, it says AMD's up, but it's not showing it live for some reason. It's right where? Oh, there you go. Can't be on. Thank you. I actually did not know that. There we go. All right, so night. Let's see. Palantir's up again. You know, I said this before, TSM is really the freaking winner in all this. Dougie, I'm with you. I don't think the hyperscalers can stop their CapEx either. TSM, I mean, I cannot believe I missed TSM. I cannot freaking believe it. I think TSM is still a winner. I'm shocked that I cannot that I missed it. Is Tesla up? I don't have Tesla on here. Hold on. Up a little bit, 0.5%. Yeah, I agree. TSM has a lot more upside, I think. Nebius up. Energy Transfer's up. Nice. Broadcom's flat. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. I want to see what everybody's saying about AMD and Nvidia. I don't really have a price target right now for QXO. I just think it's going higher over time. Oh my God, it's 11:07. Holy shit. All right, everyone. The amount of people asking for Zeta, I will do a dedicated video on Zeta. I need to get to sleep. I actually have meetings in the morning. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. I think what Lisa Su showed us is just more verification that we just need more compute. I mean, when I think about what Q4 is going to look like for these companies and what the outlooks are going to be for 2026, and I am most interested in seeing how the CapEx forecasts for 26 come in now. Do they change from what we saw in Q3 based on what NVIDIA and AMD just presented? It's going to be very interesting. But I'm going to hit the sheets. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Truly appreciate it. And I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a great night.